distinguished guests, soldiers, families, and friends of the Griffins, good morning, and welcome to the Change of Command ceremony for the 12th Combat Aviation Brigade. I am Captain Ed Nicholas, your narrator for this morning. Today, we honor Colonel John B. Broam as he relinquishes command to Colonel G. Patrick Schuck. The host for today's ceremony is Brigadier General Joseph E. Hilbert, the Commanding General for the 7th Army Training Command. The Commander of Troops for today's ceremony is Major Adam Keller. The formation of soldiers in colors standing proudly before us today represents the units of the 12th Combat Aviation Brigade. We would like to extend a special welcome to our distinguished guests joining us for this special occasion. Please hold your applause until all introductions are complete. Brigadier General Joseph E. Hilbert, Commander, 7th ATC, and Mrs. Beth Hilbert. Command Sergeant Major Mark A. Morgan, Command Sergeant Major for the 7th ATC. Representatives of the Bavarian State Parliament are Mr. Andreas Schuck, Mrs. Gabby Schmidt, Mr. Raimund Swoboda, Dr. Johannes Urban, representing the Bavarian State Chancellery, Dr. Kirsten Engelhardt Blum, Vice President of Middle Franconia, Ansbach Deputy County Commissioner, Mr. Stefan Horndash, the Mayor of our host city, Mr. Thomas Defner, Colonel Berger, Commander for the Bavarian State Regiment, Colonel Heinz Klaus, Chief of Staff, Air Maneuver Training and Exercise Center Celle, and distinguished members of the German Armed Forces, Chief of Police, Mr. Joseph Mehringer, and Mayor Scheibenberger from Illesheim, and members of the Noise Abatement Commission. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we welcome our distinguished guests with a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the invocation by the 12th Combat Aviation Brigade Chaplain, Lieutenant Colonel Adam Bennett. Let's pray.
Almighty God, we thank you for this time you've given us to come together as soldiers, families, and friends of the great nations of Germany and the United States of America. As we gather together today to bid farewell to Colonel John Broam and welcome Colonel Patrick Schuck, we are thankful for the vigorous dedication, selfless service, tireless mentoring, tactical expertise, and most of all, soldier care Colonel Broam has given the Griffin Brigade. Bless Colonel Broam, Mrs. Broam, and all his family as he moves on to NATO headquarters. Thank you for the impeccable legacy of excellence and leadership he has left with us. Thank you for his heart to serve you, Lord, and thank you for the love he has shown to each and every one of us in his care. Bless Colonel Schuck and his family as he takes command of 12th Combat Aviation Brigade. Give him wisdom, discernment, compassion, empathy, and love for the soldiers in his charge. Watch over him in the trials, difficulties, and joys of command. Give him and his soldiers success in every task. May both these phenomenal leaders soar on the wings of eagles, run and not grow weary, walk and will not faint. We thank you and praise you for this special moment in time you have given us. I ask you all of this in your mighty and powerful name. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, Sergeant Jaime Olage will present a bouquet of red roses to Mrs. Julie Broam for her devotion, dedication, and tireless efforts on behalf of the soldiers and families of the 12th Combat Aviation Brigade. At this time, Sergeant First Class Kavion McKelvey is presenting a bouquet of yellow rosebuds to Mrs. Margaret Schuck. Yellow is the color of joy and friendship and symbolizes the relationship between the soldiers and families. Shortly, the rosebuds will blossom, as will the friendships that will bloom during Mrs. Schuck's time with the Griffin family. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the left side of the formation. There you will see the adjutant, Captain Joshua Corey initiate the ceremony with a call to attention. At this time, the commander of troops for today's ceremony, Major Adam Keller, will take his place in the formation with the 12 cab staff.
Bring your units to present arms. Breathe in. Up. Breathe in. Up. Breathe in. Up. Breathe in. Up.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the rendering of honors to Brigadier General Hilbert.
Bring your units to order arms and parade rest. Order. On. Parade rest. Order. On. Order. On. Parade rest. Order. On. Parade rest.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The 12th Combat Aviation Brigade first organized as the 12th Aviation Group at Fort Benning, Georgia on 18 June 1965. The unit deployed to Vietnam in August as a command element for non-organic Army aviation units, and by November 1965, the group consisted of 11,000 personnel and 34 aviation units. Assigned to the 3rd Military Region in Vietnam, the 12th Group was the largest unit of its type to serve in combat. Its colors, emblazoned with 18 campaign streamers, give lasting testimony to its role in the Vietnam War. The unit earned the Meritorious Unit Citation, 2 Vietnamese crosses for gallantry with Palm, and the Vietnamese Civic Action Medal, first class while in Vietnam. In October 1987, under Army-wide restructuring, the 12th Aviation Group was redesignated as the 12th Aviation Brigade. On August 16, 1990, only 2 weeks after Iraqi forces crossed the Kuwait border, the 12th Aviation Brigade deployed to Saudi Arabia to take part in Operation Desert Shield, initially attached to the 101st Airborne Division. When Desert Shield transitioned into Desert Storm, the brigade became a major subordinate command of the 18th Airborne Corps and provided aerial combat and logistical support through the Corps sector. In December of 1992, 12th Aviation Brigade deployed to provide an interim aviation task force to support the 10th Mountain Division in Somalia during the early days of Operation Restore Hope. The brigade also deployed soldiers to Hungary and Bosnia in 1995 to enforce the peace during Operations Joint Endeavor and Joint Guard. In October 2002, the 12th Aviation Brigade deployed to Kuwait in anticipation of war with Iraq. With the addition of an attack battalion from 1st Cavalry Division, the 12th Aviation Brigade conducted patrols along the Kuwait-Iraq border until the beginning of the ground war in March. When the invasion began, these units were the first non-special operations helicopters to cross the border in Operation Iraqi Freedom. The brigade continued to operate in Iraq until early 2004. In February 2005, the 12th Aviation Brigade deployed to Afghanistan as Task Force Griffin, operating as two task-organized battalion task forces, Sabre and Storm, in the regional commands East and South. On August 6, 2006, the units of 4th Brigade, 1st Infantry Division, combined with units of both the 12th Aviation Brigade and the former 11th Aviation Regiment, as they were redesignated as the 12th Combat Aviation Brigade. The 12th CAB deployed for the first time as a named Combat Aviation Brigade to Iraq in July 2007. The headquarters operated from Balad as the Multinational Corps Aviation Brigade over a 4-month period before relocating to Taji. In November 2009, while much of the CAB deployed to Iraq, 2 of the CAB's battalions deployed separately to Shindad, Afghanistan. In May 2012, the CAB deployed 5 of its 7 battalions to Afghanistan, while at the same time sending 1 attack battalion to Kuwait to support Operation Spartan Shield in the Persian Gulf. In March 2013, for the first time since 2007, the entire 12 CAB returned to Germany, where they continued to train and operate in support of EUCOM and AFRICOM contingency missions. The 12 CAB's headquarters, based in Bavaria's Ansbach community, and its battalions reside at Katterbach, Grafenwehr, and Wiesbaden Army Airfields. Since its organization in 1965, the 12th Combat Aviation Brigade has served as a key member of the Combined Arms Team, dedicated to the preservation of peace. The brigade's motto, Wings of Victory, continues to exemplify the standard by which the brigade conducts its missions in support of the United States of America.
Bring your units to attention. Battalion, attention. Battalion, attention. Company, attention. Officers and colors, sector, march.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the singing of the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Germany and the United States of America, performed by Miss Edda Dehan Weisman.
Einigkeit und Recht und Freiheit für das deutsche Vaterland. Da, oh, say does that star
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The change of command is a simple yet traditional event that is rich with symbolism and heritage. Key to the ceremony is the passing of the colors. They represent not only the lineage and honors of the unit, but also the loyalty and unity of the soldiers. The unit's colors are the commander's symbol of authority, representing his responsibility to the organization. So wherever the commander is, there is also the colors. The custodian of the colors is Command Sergeant Major Zane Hansen, the senior enlisted soldier of the unit and principal advisor to the commander. Command Sergeant Major Zane Hansen passes the colors to Colonel Broam for the last time, signifying his last act of allegiance to him. Colonel Broam passes the colors to Brigadier General Hilbert, thereby relinquishing his responsibilities and authority. Brigadier General Hilbert passes the colors to Colonel Schuck, charging the new commander with the same responsibility and authority. And Colonel Schuck passes the colors back to Command Sergeant Major Hansen, entrusting him with the care of the colors. By authority of Army Regulation 600-20, paragraph 2-5 alpha, the undersigned assumes command of the 12th Combat Aviation Brigade effective 9 July 2021. Signed, G. Patrick Schuck, Colonel, Aviation, Commanding.
Officers and colors, toast, march. Bring your units to parade rest. Parade rest. Parade rest. Parade rest.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Commanding General of the 7th Army Training Command, Brigadier General Joseph E. Hilbert.
Well, good morning. It's great to see you. This morning I got a funny phone call from John Broam. And like any good aviator, he looked at he'd talked to his SWO this morning, his staff weather officer, and the SWO had given him really bad news. Said, sir, clouds are on the deck, can't see more than like 2 feet. So John calls me and says, hey, sir, this mission's going to be a no-go. We're going to have to postpone the change of command because we don't have weathermen. So unfortunately, I saw through that and said, no, John, I think we're going to have to go through it. But it was a valiant effort to bring some weather in to try to slow it down. But like I said, valiant effort for you. Hey, distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen, commanders, friends, families of the Griffin Brigade, thanks for joining us today on this incredible one of our great Army traditions, the change of command. It's great to welcome Herr Schalk, Herr Svoboda, Frau Schmidt, natürlich Dr. Urban, Dr. Engelhardt Blum, Herr Hondasch, and so many of our mayors and friends from around the community. Thanks so much for being here. To the Sergeant Major and the soldiers on the field today representing the brigade, thanks very much. You did really just a professional job. There's one person on the field who needed a little more practice, and I think that was just me. But you guys really just did a great job representing the brigade. To the U.S. Army Europe Band, thanks for coming out here. It's always a pleasure to have your professionalism here with us today and to celebrate with us. Hey, I am extremely excited to be here today. Sad and excited, kind of a lot of emotions going on. Sad because we got to farewell some folks. Excited we get to welcome some folks. But one of the things that I think is great, it's incredible and great just to see all of you together. And it's great that we can celebrate this opportunity together. For the Schuck family, it's great to welcome you. I'm going to try not to screw this up. So we got Margaret, and we got 4 of the Schucks, right? We got Elizabeth, Allison, Benjamin, Bridget, and then Jacob is currently not with us. He's at West Point. He did get the call yesterday. That's good. So we'll see how Beast is going for him. For Elizabeth, as you head off to college here in Spain, in the fall, we're going to compare college experiences, and we're going to see who's having a better time, right? My money's on you, but we'll see what happens, right? We'll do it by vote and see how it goes. But it's great to have y'all here. They just got in yesterday, so as I told them, they're welcome to fall asleep during my speech. Jet lag is a perfect excuse for it, so it's great to have you here. For the Broams, we got John, who should be getting ready for PT at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, probably rolling out of his sack and getting ready to go. We got Joe is in Huntsville and his family, probably not awake yet. And then Jordan down in Savannah. They'll be watching this later on social media, but it's great to have you all celebrating with us. And Julie, it's wonderful to have you here. For everyone, for me personally, this is an incredible honor. I first met John Broam and Julie 2 years ago here, and I had just a wonderful time during that first year of being able to serve alongside John, and then for the past year being able to follow him from afar, but remain privileged to have had that opportunity during both those years. Watching John take command a couple of years ago and watching what he's been able to do with the organization here and what you've all been able to do in the past 2 years is nothing short of inspiring. It's been an incredibly challenging time and a challenging environment, but that certainly did not stop the Griffin Brigade. As John took command, as a former aviation senior trainer at one of our lesser combat training centers in the United States, John knew and knows how to train an aviation formation to fight. And immediately after taking command, really put his nose to the grindstone and began leading the brigade and its subordinate battalions in training for large-scale combat operations in the most difficult environments that are degraded, that are denied, that are disrupted. But he got after it. And within 4 months of taking command, this brigade tested its mettle in Sabre Junction with the 173rd, fighting alongside 1st Infantry Division, doing the deep fight, something we really had not worked on to that level inside U.S. Army Europe for a while, but being able to do that at our Combat Training Center. Within a few months after that, receiving the notice to alert and deploy, no notice for a mission that hadn't necessarily been trained in that past CTC rotation, but a no notice deploying within 6 months and getting out of here on 30 hours. I can tell you from past experience and in a past life, we've got units who work hard to maintain that type of level of readiness to be able to deploy with no notice and get out in 30 hours or less. They did it, and it wasn't something that was expected of them. But they did it professionally. They did it incredibly well and accomplished the mission, really setting a standard for U.S. Army Europe. Coming back from that mission, though, then it was Dragoon Ready. Another great training event. They didn't slow down. They took the lessons learned from Sabre Junction. They took the lessons learned from a deployment. They applied those lessons learned and then got after Dragoon Ready, again, looking at the deep fight, fighting alongside a division, figuring out how to both enable a maneuver brigade but fight the deep targets for a division. And that process over the past 2 years of train, learn, retrain, repeat, that process would go on and on with this brigade for the past 2 years, even up to the last month with the Defender 21 CPX. In the end, what the brigade can look back on is the highest level of readiness since its restructure in 2015. The accolades, however, they don't stop there. Because more than training under John's leadership, this brigade has demonstrated that we are, in fact, a very strong Europe through partnerships not just with the community, but incredible partnerships across the community, partnerships with other military organizations. For example, formal partnerships with the French 1st Artillery Regiment and 4th Combat Aero Regiment. And then informal partnerships through training events. And we don't have to look any further than last month when, if you pervade social media, you had a chance to see it there. I had a chance to see it firsthand of U.S. Army AH-64 attack helicopters flying alongside Hungarian Defense Force Mi-24 Hind helicopters in a live fire event, something that, to my knowledge, was the first live fire of its kind. That's what this brigade did, and did it in that environment. And then finally, what we probably ought to recognize is that the same thing that John Broam recognized, and that's that readiness doesn't just start on the flight line. Readiness doesn't start in a training exercise. Readiness doesn't start out in the, when you're flying in the local area. Readiness starts at home. And so from our families in the local community to the soldiers in the barracks, John's care and concern for our soldiers and their families, it was nothing more than first class. I was there a year ago, or 16 months ago, as we in 7th ATC entered a COVID environment. I sat in the VTCs when we discussed what we were going to do to care for our soldiers and families in an unknown, stressful environment. And I got to listen to John Broam talk about what he was going to do and how to take care of those families and soldiers. I can tell you as a fellow commander then, it was inspiring. As the commanding general of 7th ATC today, it was absolutely a role model. He demonstrated the love of the commander for his formation, and we're lucky to have had him by our side during that time. But we also know that John Broam did not do that alone. That beside him, we had Julie, who had a heart for soldiers in this community, that cared for the Griffin family like his own. When I asked John and Julie if they had family here, and you know, they both looked out at the formation as we were getting ready to do the award ceremony, and they said, well, you know, our kids are going to be on, they're going to watch it on social media, but our family's right here. That wasn't trite, those were not trite words for the Broam family. Those were from the heart. And that was from a love for these families in this community. And Julie, we're incredibly thankful to have had you here. We're incredibly thankful to have had you care and love for these families. And we're incredibly thankful that you were able to be here during this time. The Broams are going to leave us, but they're not going far. And they're going to go up to Belgium. There's no rest for the weary. As I talked to John last night, he did tell me, I said, are you going to take some leave? And he said, well, sir, I'm going to drive to Belgium. That's going to be a 2-day drive, I think. And what'd you say, by Monday or Wednesday, you're going to be sitting at your desk at work working for the DCOM for NATO. That's a great news story for U.S. Army Europe, and it's a great news story for our alliance, candidly, that you get to stay here and you get to bring the experiences from here back there to Belgium. We know that you won't be far from our hearts as you head to Belgium, and we know that we're probably not going to be far from yours as you head up that way. So, as with all changes of command, we get to farewell one great leader, and we get to welcome another. And I am excited to welcome the Schucks back here to the Griffin Brigade family and the 7th ATC. I had a great opportunity this past week to spend a little more than an hour, probably a little more than that, and that's my own fault, with Patrick. And I'm just incredibly excited to see you come along here and to see your family come here and to welcome you back to Bavaria and to welcome you back to the Griffin Brigade. Some of you don't know, but Patrick and his wife began their Army careers here in Bavaria, where Patrick served with at the time, what was 4th Brigade, 1st Infantry Division, the Combat Aviation Brigade, and Margaret was up in, I want to say it's 94th Engineer Battalion, I might have the number wrong, up in the Graf-Vilsek area. So it is great to have you all back in Bavaria. It's great to have your family back here with us, and we're incredibly excited to welcome you to the team. We all look forward to serving along with you, and we look forward to going forward with you together, both here with the 12th Cab, but then also in 7th Army Training Command. Thanks again for all of you coming today. Thanks for celebrating with us. Strong Europe, trained to win.
Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel John Broam.
We'll see how I get through this. Distinguished guests, friends, and family, particularly those who traveled great distances to be here, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to join us on this beautiful, wet German morning. Many of those who travel here today and those who are viewing online have had a tremendous impact on my life and have certainly assisted Julie and me in getting to this moment. It means so much to us that you took the time out of your busy week to travel here or to view online. So thank you very much for your attendance. It means so much to us. Today we are in a military hangar, on a military post, in a country we are guests of our German hosts. Therefore, to honor our guests in the audience today, I would like to share a few words in Deutsch to express my gratitude and appreciation for your role as hosts, allies, and friends. So bear with me. My Deutsch is not so good, but I think it's important. Sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, heute ist der Tag gekommen, wo ich mich von Ihnen verabschieden muss. Meine zweijährige Dienst in Katterbach ist wie ein Flug vergangen und ich verlasse Deutschland mit einem lachenden und einem weinenden Auge. Meine Frau Julie und ich waren insgesamt 9 Jahre während meiner 29-jährigen militärischen Laufbahn im schönen Mittelfranken stationiert und wir erfreuen uns an den vielen Freundschaften, welche wir schließen dürften. Ich danke Ihnen auch im Namen meiner Soldaten für Ihre Unterstützung und Gastfreundschaft. Besonders bedanken darf ich mich bei Herrn Dr. Johannes Urban, Oberbürgermeister Deffner und bei meinen guten Freunden Stefan Horndash, Herr Altbürgermeister Heiner Forster und Inzo und Carmela. Meine neue Dienststelle wird in Brüssel bei der NATO sein. Besuchen Sie uns dort. Sie sind uns immer herzlich willkommen. In diesem Sinne wünsche ich uns für die Zukunft alles Gut, Glück, Zufriedenheit, aber vor allem Gesundheit. Vielen Dank und auf ein Wiedersehen. Right. To our Griffin families in attendance, you are the strength of our soldiers. Thank you for all you've done and will continue to do in the days ahead. Julie and I have cherished our time serving with you in support of our soldiers together. Thank you. Brigadier General Hilbert, sir, thank you so much for those kind words and for hosting this ceremony today. I look forward to the successes that you and Command Sergeant Major Morgan will achieve through the 7th ATC. Thank you so much. Thank you to the USARAF band and our incredible singers of the national anthems of Germany and the United States. Your presence and musical talents lend a special tradition to this ceremony. Griffin 7, Command Sergeant Major Hanson, thank you for your efforts in making this such a great ceremony. The Griffin team looks great. If you look out beyond the soldiers on the field here, you'll see an AH-64 on your left, an incredible attack helicopter. You see a Chinook in the background, and then you see a UH-60 on the far right. But a good friend of ours of the cab, Frank Heinrich, was so inclined to allow us to place one of his UH-1's gunship there in the center. And that's to represent the 12th Combat Aviation Brigade starting back in 1965 and going to Vietnam. This is a storied aircraft, and we're honored to have it here today as part of the ceremony. So thank you, Mr. Heinrich. Now, good morning, Griffins and Wings of Victory. I don't feel I can truly let you know how proud I am of all you've done. But I want you to know that your commander was absolutely proud of your service to each and every one of us and to yourselves. I want to thank you for your unrelenting commitment and steadfast service in defense of our nation. I want you to know it has been the most humbling honor of my 29-year career to serve as your commander. I never envisioned that these 2 years as the commander of the 12th Combat Aviation Brigade would entail working with such caring and special leaders as those represented on this field. These soldiers and leaders before you achieved the highest levels of readiness, as it was spoken about, since the Aviation Restructuring Initiative in 2015. They built lethal and ready teams that demonstrated the ability to respond decisively when called. They deployed a battalion task force within 30 hours of notification while returning from holiday block leave. The rapid notification, mobilization, planning, and execution of this deployment to the furthest border of the U.S. EUCOM AOR revealed the gains and readiness achieved over such a short period. This impressive display of readiness would not have been possible without these soldiers, these leaders. These soldiers and leaders developed and maintained strategic partnerships with critical NATO allies through security cooperation activities and training events. None of this would have been possible without the calm, positive leadership of two former commanders that are here today of the 214th Aviation Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Matt McGraw, and the 1-3 Attack Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Matt Cole. You are both exceptional, compassionate, and caring leaders who superbly led your formations. Thank you. It was an honor to serve with you. And behind every commander and unit is a great staff with a myriad of changes and adjustments in the unit training calendars and a global pandemic that occurred. It required relentless, nonstop staff analysis and planning. That isn't easy. And so to the XOs and S3s and all the staff elements, thank you. Thank you for maintaining your flexibility and professionalism throughout the ever-changing mission. The MVP through this all was Major Promotable Adam Keller, who served as my Brigade S3 and then my XO this past year. Your expertise in translating intent into action is unmatched, and this brigade would not be where it is today without your drive, your tenacity, and our soldiers and organization are better because of you. Thank you, Rob Fellingham. Thank you for telling the Griffin story through your incredible pictures over the past 2 years. Your fantastic photos and ability to get our soldiers' story out was phenomenal. And I can't thank you enough for letting the rest of the world know what great soldiers and attack helicopters, Chinooks, and Blackhawks that we have, and fixed wing. And some special thanks go to those who are rarely mentioned, the quiet professionals, our warrant officers throughout the entire Griffin Brigade. And for me personally, those quiet professionals were the senior warrants in the brigade headquarters. Gentlemen, thank you for keeping the brigade and me on glide path. Your sage advice and technical expertise was an integral part of the brigade's success. Additionally, there's no way we could have been successful without our critical brigade ADOS officers and NCOs and our tremendous dedicated civilian workforce. Thank you for making this brigade better every day. I want to personally send a thank you to my deputy, Colonel Retired Kevin Shearer. Thank you for your vision in training and your thoughtful insights. It was my distinct honor to serve alongside two absolute professionals who care for our soldiers and families. They ensured that we conducted tough, realistic training and kept me motivated. I'm excited for the future of the 12th Cab with Command Sergeant Major Zane Hansen and CW5 Scott Slider advising Colonel Schuck. It's no secret that Julie and I love this community, and I will miss living in the best hometown in Europe. I must thank our garrison commanders, Colonel Steve Pierce and Karen Hobart, Thank you for your leadership and care for our community. From Jeffrey at the AFES gas station, to Steve at the clothing sales, to housing, DPW, MWR, the garrison staff, the health clinic, and our emergency services. We could not have accomplished our training and made it through this pandemic without your persistence, your resolve, and the care for our soldiers and families. So thank you. Thank you to the entire 7th ATC staff who fought for our organization and supported our training glide path, particularly Colonel Steve Marr and Dr. Schaefer. Thank you for supporting our organization behind the scenes. Thank you to the teams that made up TACE, MEDAC-B, JMSC, JMRC, 2CR, 173rd, 41st, 16th Sustainment, 18th MP, and many others. Your relationship with our CAB made us successful, and we're grateful for what you have done for our organization. None of this would have been possible without the infectious enthusiasm and superb leadership of Brigadier General Christopher Norrie and his vision to enable our training management and our care for soldiers and families. So thank you, sir, for loving us all, even when it was uncomfortable. I must also thank General Cavoli for his strategic leadership and support of the 12th CAB over the last 2 years. He called me last night, and I told him about this great organization that's represented here, and he is very honored that we were able to recognize your accomplishments today. To my children, I'm so proud of you, and I love you, and I miss you very much. I can't wait to see you. To my wife, my better half, you're my strength in all times, and particularly those tough ones. You truly make me a better person. Thank you for your love and support from the beginning of this journey back in 1989. Here we are, married 32 years next month, and I thank the Lord for you every day. Your care and compassion for our soldiers and families throughout many years of deployments and these past 2 here in Katterbach was nothing short of pure demonstration of love that you give freely every day. I look forward to continuing to grow old with the one I was young with. I love you. I'm thankful for the superb commander who just took command of the Griffin Brigade, Colonel Patrick Schuck, Griffin 06. I've gotten to know Patrick over the past year, and I'm excited for his energy and care that he'll bring to this awesome brigade. I know Margaret and Patrick will take care of our soldiers and families, and I look forward to all you will accomplish. Wings of victory, Griffin 6. Finally, I must thank the Lord for everything he has given me. He has blessed me beyond measure with a wonderful wife and family and placed incredible people around me. In closing, I ask you to continue to commit to our duty to never forget our fallen comrades that paid the ultimate sacrifice to defend our freedom and a nation we hold so dear. It was my personal honor to enter CW5 John Pratt headquarters every day and to pass by Captain J. Brainerd Lodge on Erlas. Let us never forget their sacrifice on Memorial Day 2012. I miss them dearly, and I will continue to ensure we never forget them. Julie and I have been truly humbled by this opportunity to serve as stewards for such a dynamic organization, one of the Army's most lethal and agile formations. There was truly no other unit our family would have wanted to serve with. Stronger together, trained to win, and wings of victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the 12th Combat Aviation Brigade, Colonel Patrick Schuck.
Guten Morgen. Guten Morgen, and Grüß Gott, Brigadier General Miss Hilbert, Command Sergeant Major Miss Morgan, the many, many distinguished guests from our communities, fellow command teams, and families and friends of the Griffin Brigade. Thanks so much for coming this morning. It makes such a difference. I'd like to start to recognize the USERA AF Band for your performance this morning. On this rainy day, it definitely brightens this ceremony and adds a true enlivenment. Thank you. Griffins, you look absolutely amazing. As I look out over this massive aviation might, I'm truly humbled. Humbled to be here, and I feel honored by this opportunity to guide and serve these aviation professionals. Margaret and I are truly excited to join the 7th ATC team, the 12th Combat Aviation Brigade family, and then rejoin the Ansbach community that we left about 20 years ago. I'm going to try my hand at some German as well. John, it probably won't even be as good as yours, so bear with me. Vor 22 Jahren war ich das erste Mal in Katterbach stationiert. Frau Müller, die heute bei uns ist, war meine Vermieterin und wurde zu meiner Familie. Wir freuen uns sehr, wieder nach Katterbach zurückzukehren, denn hier ist unser Zuhause in der Ferne. That's it. Can't do much more than that right now. General Hilbert, I know how much trust and confidence you have in this brigade from the time that we've spent together and from your comments. I'm thankful for this opportunity to lead and to build on all that the Broam family has done here. And I'm especially thankful that you didn't buy into John's ploy to try and cancel the change of command. So thank you. Transitions are never easy. However, the leaders and the families of this brigade have worked tirelessly to make this process seamless. We especially appreciate you, John and Julie Broam, for all that you've done. Your leadership, dedication to this brigade, and passion for this community is evident. And it's going to leave big shoes. Margaret and I will try our very best to fill and are committed to building on all that you've accomplished here. We wish you Godspeed and all the best as you head to Brussels and wrestle with NATO challenges. Good luck, my friend. Good luck. Know that you will be missed and always have a home waiting for you here in the brigade and the Ansbach community. Maggie, Elizabeth, Allison, Ben, Bridget, and Marihin, it's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Sincerely grateful for all that you've done through our journey so far, and excited to tackle this next one side by side. To the warriors and families of the 12th Combat Aviation Brigade, for the past several weeks, you've allowed me to admire your accomplishments from afar. Now I'm blessed to join the Army family. As we move forward, we must sustain a cohesive team of disciplined and competent aviation professionals able to deliver our combat power anytime, anywhere. We will train hard to guarantee our readiness and ability to accomplish the mission while making sure to care for each other and our families, as well as seize the unique opportunities that Germany has to offer to experience German culture. I look forward to serving alongside every one of you and in our Ansbach and Wiesbaden communities and with our neighboring German communities as we collectively test our mettle and continue to build this stellar Griffin team. Thank you all again for coming. Vielen Dank, dass Sie zur heutigen Zeremonie gekommen sind und ich freue mich, Sie persönlich kennenzulernen. Stronger together, trained to win, wings of victory.
Bring your units to attention. Now, attention, move. Battalion, attention. Company, attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Army song. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Colonel Schuck invites you to attend a reception in the adjacent hangar to your right immediately following the ceremony. Colonel and Mrs. Broam will remain near the stands to receive any final well wishes and farewells. Thank you so much for joining us today. Wings of Victory.